Life is kind of like a pop quiz, right? There are things that happen in our lives that come out of nowhere. And they can be something as small like a change in plans or being stuck in traffic, or it could be something big and life-altering like losing a loved one. And here's the thing. You and I, we cannot avoid the pop quizzes of life, but we can be prepared and we can respond in a very healthy way. And so in this video, what I want to do is I want to give us 3 lessons that you and I should remember whenever we go through the pop quizzes of life. And so with that said, let's start with the first one. And so the first lesson is this: nothing is ever wasted. And this might sound like a cliche, but I really do believe that everything that happens in our lives happens for a specific reason. And because of that, there is value and there is purpose for everything that comes our way, whether it be something big or something small. Now, it might not feel like that there is a reason. We might not be able to see the reason in the middle of all the pop quizzes that we are enduring, but nothing is ever wasted in God's kingdom. And so what might seem like a failure or a mess in our eyes and our perspective is often a seed that God is planting for something greater. He can take our mess, our frustrations, our failures, and our mistakes, and He can turn it into something good. God always works for the good of those who love Him and who trust Him. He is always at work, even when you and I can't see it or feel it. Because again, nothing is ever wasted in God's kingdom. And this is something that is so encouraging to me, because I know that whatever life throws at me, whatever pop quizzes come my way, it is not going to waste, but it is simply being stored for me, and the purpose of it will be revealed at God's perfect timing. And because of that, I can put my hope and I can put my trust and I can be resilient in those moments, because I know that at the end, there is a purpose that is going to be revealed to me. Nothing is ever wasted. And so if you are going through a pop quiz right now, may you know and may you be encouraged that, man, God has a specific plan and a purpose for everything that you are enduring right now. It is not being wasted, but is simply being stored for a greater purpose at the end. Lesson number 2, who is with you is far greater than what is around you. Now, this is so good that I want to say it one more time. Who is with you is far greater than what is around you. You know, one of the titles that's given to Jesus in the Bible is Emmanuel, which means God with us. And that is something that you and I need to remember whenever we're going through the pop quizzes of life. When we forget God's character, when we forget that God is Emmanuel, we will slip into this thinking that God has abandoned us. But that is far from the truth, because God never leaves nor forsakes His children. And so let's take King David for an example. This is what he says in Psalm chapter 23, and check out what he says in verse 4. He says this: "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." King David in this psalm was going through the valley of the shadow of death. Death was literally facing him. And yet his prayer was, I will fear no evil. I will not fear what is in front of me. I will not fear what is around me, because I know that you are with me, right? Who is with him is far greater than what is around him. And so as we go through the pop quizzes of life, we have to remember this important and this significant truth that God is with us. Who is with you is far greater than what is around you. And I know that's so hard to believe, but we have to bank on the truth that God is Emmanuel, that God is with us. And so may you remember that God never leaves nor forsakes nor abandons His children, especially when they're going through difficulty. And I know that's very hard to believe, because you won't be able to feel it or see it right in front of you. But may you believe and may you follow in the footsteps of King David when he says, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. May you be encouraged knowing that who is with you is far greater than what is around you. Lesson number 3, prayer is your anchor. So you know how the flight attendants always tell you to put on the oxygen mask whenever there is an emergency when you're in the air? And the reason why is because the oxygen masks play a vital role for your survival. And I pray that you are never in that situation when you are in the air. And you know, life is full of very turbulent storms that challenge our resilience, that challenge our character, and that challenge our beliefs. And so this is why prayer is so important, because prayer is that anchor. It's that steady anchor that reminds us that ultimately God is in control. And prayer, what it does is it alleviates our stress, it alleviates our anxiety, and it helps us to remind ourselves that God is ultimately in control, and that gives us this peace that surpasses all human understanding. Let's read what it says in Philippians chapter 4, and it says this: "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." And so prayer is our connection to God. It is our source of strength, and it is our steady anchor. And so may we not neglect the power of prayer whenever we go through the pop quizzes of life. Prayer is what will sustain you. It is something that will remind us that ultimately God is in control, and it will give us this peace that transcends all human understanding. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys learned a lot. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Welcome back to the corny joke of the day. Have you guys ever seen that movie called Constipation? Yeah, I haven't either, because it hasn't come out yet.